What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge. I am your host, Allan Bell. We got a fantastic show lined up for you today. The NFL playoffs are here. Super Wild Card Weekend. Fired up, man. Can't wait for that. But before we get to today's picks, let's take a look at how we did on Friday. And what does that look like? 4-4 with two pushes. Never seen two pushes on the show before. Pretty much about as even as you can get on that one. So, yeah, nothing great, nothing bad. As Coach would say, a whole hum day, but I'm not going to take his phrase from him. But I'll tell you what I am going to do, bring in the stars of the show and get this thing all fired up. Because, man, I'm telling you, dude, we've got real football now coming. And let me also say, before we get into introductions, be live tonight at 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Eastern to break down the Chargers at the Jaguars. We're also going to do the same thing on Sunday for the Sunday night football game as well. But got enough time for that. First off, my man, Micah Roberts. How we doing, sir?
Doing great, man. Great to see all you guys. 6 boxes. I mean, this is pretty incredible. And the NFL playoffs start today. And the interesting thing about the weekend that I find is like the 3 big favorites, and then you got the 3, field goal or less games. Interesting. Does one of the favorites drop? That's the question. History says recently, no, probably not. But I'm waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, you know what? And Mike, I'm going to get back to you. I got a question in regards to that. And you being, a former bookmaker yourself, understanding and having seen both sides of the fence. We're going to get to that in just one second. My man, Bob Konarski, Berg Betts, Bobby Locks, as you guys know. What's good, man? You doing all right?
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me again. Great day of sports. Football, 150 college basketball games today. I do want to give Matt Severance a shout out. He's been crushing it on SportsLine with college basketball, and also I think Micah is doing very well with the West Coast totals. I think we found something there, so you'll love to see it.
Yeah, there's some value there for sure, Rob.
Dude, our West Coast dude for sure, man. And look, that T-shirt. Let me go ahead and get a look at that real quick, man. Look at him, ready to go. Dude, got the Giants, the 90 shirt, and I say that to say this. Spector, my dude, what's good? And let me see that 90s NFL T-shirt as well. Look at him, boy. How we doing?
Yeah, we're going for those Niners all day. I can't wait for my Niners to come in and just roll the Seahawks.
Yeah, and dude, I'll tell you what, man. I was watching last night, watching the games, and kind of tallying up. Dude, tough one on Steph Curry last night, man. I hate that in NBA blowouts. You know what I mean? Because it's like, dude, your minutes just get cut down. It was tough.
It was an awful one. Coach's take was they were going to have an off shooting night in the Dome, and nobody had an off shooting night. They were so good.
They were too good.
It was too good. Yeah. I should have done the showdown on Warriors -8 instead of the Steph Curry points, but it is what it is. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Mike McClure, how we doing, sir?
Doing well, buddy. Doing well. Fired up for these games. Like Bob said, 151 college basketball games today and a couple playoff games. It's going to be a beautiful one.
Dude, it is. And you know what? Eric Cohen hasn't even gone to sleep last night. He's been looking at all 151 of them. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, AB. You know what? I found a couple that I really like, and I feel even better about it because Bobby Locks agrees with one of my plays, as we talked about before the show. So I'm feeling extra great today on this Saturday.
Dude, absolutely, man. When Locks agrees, yeah, that's a good place to be, man, for sure. All right, let's get into our, storylines that affect the betting lines for today. And I'll tell you what, Micah, I'm actually going to burden you because I got 2 of them, okay? We're going to talk about NFL teasers in 1 second. But what I wanted to bring up was, just in your history, man, like you were talking about the NFL games, and you've seen, NFL playoffs from both sides, both as a bettor, both as a bookmaker. Anything that you see with, divisional opponents playing against each other, anything, that a brand new bettor should know, about betting the NFL playoffs. It feels like point scoring drops, but it could just be, as of late. But I stop asking and I hand it to you, man. Anything that we need to know in regards to that?
I don't have the official stats on it, but I will say last year that the 5 of the 6 games were won and covered by the favorite. And it's one of those things where you've got the 7th seed and the 6th seed and the 5th seed, and the other teams, of course, are better records and perform better during the season. But those teams are heightened more with their raw ability, like they would play to their best ability at this moment. And you got 2 teams playing at their best, and one is just that much better, and it shows on the field. Again, I don't have the actual stats and numbers, but it's what I have seen forever, going back to my first day in the sports book in 1992. And those were some crazy Super Bowls too, right? I mean, we just got over everything. That was when the NFC was dominating and covering these huge point spreads in the Super Bowl. And it wasn't until I think the Broncos, until they beat the Packers, ended a huge run of NFC coverage.
Yeah, no, and that's perfect information of what you gave, right? I didn't want to, put you on the spot there, but yeah, no, I mean, it's good info to know, right? And especially when you see these large numbers, and the large numbers, quite frankly, are coming from divisional games where usually you look, for things to be even more tight. So yeah, fascinated to see that. And also NFL teasers, all right, in the playoffs, man. Talk to us as well. What do you got?
Yeah, the two-team NFL teaser in the regular season is a constant loser for the sportsbook. It's one of the only thing that is consistently annually a loser when you put everything in the categories with parlays and the 7 legs, 8 legs, all the way down to 2. Two-team parlays are good, but the NFL teaser, two-team teaser, is a loser. It's a loss leader. It's out there for customer service. It's out there for the people that like it. It's out there for just because you don't want to move it to 3 teams where it would be more profitable for the sportsbook. So the 2-team, there's an edge there. And we started, when I started in 1992, even money, 6-point 2-team teaser. Figured, well, we were losing every couple of years. Okay, we're going to move it to $1.10. We're going to move it to $1.20. We're going to move it to $1.30. Now you got a book like the Circa. They've moved up 5 cents each on their teaser totals for the playoffs, because the playoffs is even worse. You get 2 teams playing at supposedly their highest levels, playing against each other. And then you add on, which is the greatest rating of all sports. NFL is the most concrete number in all of sports. Now you get 6 or 7 points added on. There's an edge there. And the fact that you could have this edge so much in favor of the bettor, to where the sportsbook and casino loses sometimes all 4 sides, side, bottom, total, high, low, either side. There's a possibility the book cannot win any of them. What kind of proposition does this allow? I don't even know how it's been allowed when you have an option where you're going to lose all 4 sides. And this happens often. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. In this round, actually, it was 4, 4, 4, 3 and 1. So 15 and 1 total wipeout with teasers. This is the round that you see this. This is the round where you have a pretty good edge in the teasers. So I recommend them. I say, even at $1.40, $1.45, 7-point teaser, this is a good spot here and good moments. And we'll talk about that with some of my plays here, crossing over the key numbers. And that's what you want to do here. And that's where bettors have had success and where the sports books have lost. So you want to bet what the sports books lose on, right?
Yeah, dude. I was going to say, first off, Micah, that was excellent education and information right there. And you're going to show us an example here in just a minute. But yeah, like with what other sport or really ever with anything with the books where they corner themselves, right? Like that. Like you don't see that at all. No, that's great information, man, for sure. All right, let's get into our picks for today. But before we do, let's take a quick break and hear from one of our partners. And we are back. All right, Mike McClure, coming to you first. But let me say this, dude. All right, I'm doing this for the karma. I'm doing this for good luck for all of us in the Early Edge crew. All right, you know the drill, son. Give it to me.
All right, AB, let's hit a college basketball game. I will note I've got all of my simulations on the site. You can see the number for all 151 games. The one I have chosen to share with you today is UC Davis, Cal State Fullerton. We're going over 136 in this game. I make the game 143. Chief agrees with it. SportsLine's model agrees with it as well. But what I like here, contrasting styles. Fullerton, definitely a little slower team. UC Davis, though, they play with one of the quicker paces in college basketball. I have them rating inside the top 35. Both of these schools know each other pretty well. They're going to have plenty of opportunities at the free throw line, which is why I love the over in this particular game. Look, there's a big edge on the UC Davis side in terms of the pace of play and some of their offensive rebounding. They're going to put the points up in this game. They might run away with it, but I love the over here at 136.
There we go, man. There we go. And I'll tell you what, all right, talking about overs here, all right, Cohen, I'm going to come over to you, all right, because you got 3 plays here. You've got 2 college basketball, 1 NFL. But you've got two overs that you like. So I'll tell you what, man, I'm going to stop confusing everybody. I'm going to step out of your way. Break it down. What do you got?
All right, let's start with we got two Conference USA totals today, AB. North Texas and Florida Atlantic, the over is 122. Bobby Locks likes it, so I like it even more, increasing that bet size after the show. FAU's averaging 78.6 points a game. It's over 81 at home. Now, they played a 50-46 game against North Texas on December 29th. But in that game, those teams combined for 6 of 45 from three-point range. That's 13.3%. On the year, FAU shoots about 38% from deep. North Texas shoots over 32%. You figure, as Bobby Locke said, if Florida Atlantic controls the pace a little bit more at home, three-point shooting normalizes, this game flies over the total. Now, also staying about an hour later tip-off, I think it's 3 Eastern, UTEP plays Rice. This is a weird one. Rice is averaging almost 82 points a game, almost 88 at home. These two teams played on December 31st, and there was 139 total points, and that game went to overtime. Now, UTEP is 5-1-1 to the over on the road. These teams combined on the year are 17-9-1 to the over. If you look at the SportsLine page, it just lights up with positive trends. So I'm all about it. Give me that over 138.5 there. And then I'm going to switch to the NFL, and I know this is a contrarian play, especially when you go to SportsLine, AB. There's like a million picks on this game, and I don't know that anyone else has the over, but I'm going with the over 42, and I'll tell you what. It's one of those weird ones with the weather. Everybody, you would think the under, bad rain, sloppy field, wind. Nope. I'm ignoring that. The two games against Seattle or San Francisco and Seattle, they were both 34-point totals. But the 49ers have scored 30-plus on their own in 5 of their last 6. So why is the total so high if the weather in Seattle offense against San Francisco are so bad? Somebody knows something. I feel like I'm going to be on the other side here. I like it.
All right. I like you going contrarian there. I like that, man. Now, Micah in the chat. All right. So our dude, Justin Jackson, laughingly says, Micah, you behind a green screen? The background looks the same every time. And look, as Johnny said, look, the backyard is just that picturesque. I say it every show. Like, it's legitimately like, dude, it just looks like heaven back there. So, yeah.
It's feeding time right now for the grackles and the finches. I take care of those guys. They're my boys. They keep the pigeons away. So we got a little relationship going on, give and take.
I like it, dude. You know what? Got to keep them away, and that's a smart man. So I'm going to throw it to you. You were talking about NFL teasers. You have an NFL teaser. Break it down, buddy. We got it.
Yeah, this is a great example of what you do with 7 points here, picking the right number and the key. So we're going to take the 49ers down from 9.5 down to 2.5. Win by a field goal or more, you're good there. And then we're going to go back with the other side and take the Jaguars plus 2.5 here, take it up 7, up to 9.5. And, that Charger game, it could go either way. I'm happy with it, even if the Chargers win by a field goal or more. The thing with the Chargers, I mean, they're 7-2-1 against the spread their last 10 games, but every game's close. I mean, they don't blow anybody. They played a couple bad teams to end the season, but the loss to Denver, every game they're in is a close ball game, and they don't have the greatest defense, but they have a quarterback that kind of uses a passing game like the run game, runs the clock, and then all of a sudden they got a lot of unders as well. And that's what the Chargers do. I think this game's going to be very close. I think it comes down to a field goal. And the 49ers game, 10 straight wins has been absolutely amazing. McCaffrey hasn't lost yet. Purdy hasn't lost yet. Both of those guys, Purdy doesn't do anything exciting, just gets the ball to the players. You got 4 horses there with Ayuk, Kittle, Sanders, and McCaffrey. And then you can throw Mitchell in there as well. Get those guys the ball. Don't do anything fancy. And this is what Garoppolo did, right? I mean, he just got the ball over the middle a lot to Kittle and Samuel and you're seeing the same thing with Purdy. I like them a lot, but laying 2.5 to me seems really good. I do agree with Eric as well on the over as well. This is one of those things, Geno Smith, wet ball, Nick Bosa, a lot of bad things can happen there. Short field. Yeah, I could see that. And they've been blowing everybody out, the 49ers. Do their same thing here. I could see that rain, 81%, 10-mile-an-hour winds. But again, you're crossing over 7. You're crossing over 6. So 7's the second most key number. 6 is the fourth most key number. You're crossing over 4, which is the third most key number, and then you're crossing over 3, which is the most key number by double 3 times actually than some of the others. So crossing over like that is just amazing. That's how ideally you play the teasers, and ideally how the sports books lose on 2-team teasers.
Dude, see, Micah, that's why I am glad that you are on our team, man. That is great information right there. And you brought up an interesting point in regards to Santa Clara for this 49ers game. 81% chance of rain in the chat here. Man, I can't find it. Our boy was talking about having to swim to the gas station. Yeah, here it is right here. Yeah, K-Rob says, I'm currently canoeing to the gas station out here in Santa Clara. So, Spector, all right, you're a Northern California dude. What's the weather like? Excuse me. What should we be aware of? And then also, you got some picks, bro. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm over here in San Francisco, about an hour north. And I mean, right now it's cloudy, but there's no rain yet. Even if it rains, I don't think it's going to be super heavy rain. So I'm not as concerned with how much that's going to happen. And especially that leads into my pick of we're going first 2 props. The first one's going to be DK Metcalf over 4.5 receptions at -130. Our SportsLine AI is projecting a 4.9 reception game for DK Metcalf. And the thing is nothing has changed since the last time that the Seahawks played the Niners. They are not going to be able to run the ball against them. And in that case, they're just the Niners' weakest point, and weak is relative here. Their weakest point is going to be their secondary. They'll force DK Metcalf a couple passes just to get that star player some touches on the ball. And in DK's games against the 49ers, he averages 9.6 targets and 5.9 receptions in the 8 games. So good sample size here against the Niners. I like this over 4.5 receptions. I'll give you the second one. Second one's going to be Austin Eckler, also over 4.5 receptions. This one at -140. SportsLine AI is projecting 5.2 receptions. The Jags were 7th in the league on yards per attempt defensively against the run. The Chargers are going to throw the ball a lot here. I'll give you an extra projection. We're projecting Herbert to throw for 41 times. The line is 37.5. Kind of like that one as well. And in games where Mike Williams was not in the lineup, Austin Eckler averaged 4.8 receptions. But if you take out, he had one bad game where he only had 2. If you take that one out of the 5 games, then he averages 6.75 receptions. I think it was 7, 7, 8, and like 10 receptions when Mike Williams was out. If with backup receivers in, they're going to double Keenan Allen. And if the other receivers can't get open, Justin Herbert's just going to drop down a nice, easy check ball to Austin Eckler. I like this over 4.5 receptions for him as well.
Nice. All right. Now, quick question for you. And I don't know if you have the numbers in front of you. I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but Justin Herbert. All right. So looking at an extended amount of pass attempts today, where do you have his interception rate at?
Ooh, give me 1 second and I can
take your time. Yeah, take your time. Take a look.
I got it right here. I only have him projected at 0.54 receptions. So we're looking at basically it could go either way from 0 to 1.
Yep. All right. Because that Jaguars defense is sneaky good at creating turnovers, especially as of late. So something to pay attention to there. But we'll talk about that tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, as we break down the Chargers at the Jaguars. Now, all right, last, certainly not least, I saved him in the Maestro spot today. All right, because one, all right, Locks, I need a breakdown, college basketball game, preferably a team in the ACC. But second, after that, my dude, your Giants, man, playing on Sunday. Go ahead and give me that breakdown on that too. Go ahead.
All right. Wow, what an honor to be in the Maestro spot. All right, so ACC game, I'm going to Duke-Clemson. This is the first time Duke has been an underdog all season, and they're 1-2 on the road as well. Duke, they have the rebounding edge, but now they have to deal with Clemson's big guys of PJ Hall and Hunter Tyson down low, 2 very good rebounders. One big injury concern for Duke is Jeremy Roach. His status is unclear. Some spots I see he's doubtful. Some spots I see he's game time decision with the toe injury. So with that being said, depending on his status, I think Clemson is going to have a lot of success at the guard play, especially if Roach doesn't play. Clemson's guards and just their team in general, they shoot 42% from 3 at home. Duke, over the last 3 games, has struggled mightily at 29%. Clemson protects the ball at home very, very well. Earlier in the season, they struggled a little bit, but they got it together now. They only average 11 turnovers at home. And Duke, in their past 3 games, which maybe with Jeremy Roach's absence, they averaged 17 turnovers over their last 3 games, which I said might play a part. So with that being said, I'm on Clemson money line. I do see the line moving currently as we speak. It's at -110 on FanDuel. It's -109 on DraftKings on Bet Rivers. So shop around if you're going to be back in Clemson today. And then, like AB said, for my Giants, I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've ever seen my Giants injury report with absolutely nobody on it. So
yeah, seriously, dude.
It's insane. The one big thing that I was looking at, Xavier McKinney and Adoree Jackson, they did not play last time at Minnesota. The Giants, soul-crushing 62-yard field goal on Christmas Eve, but that was without them in the secondary. Giants secondary, not that great, but getting Adoree Jackson, especially to at least check Justin Jefferson a little bit. I know Justin Jefferson's going to get his, but having those 2 back on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the secondary, Xavier McKinney, one of their leaders, I think the Giants should have some success. I really hope they win, but you know what? With that being said, Giants money line.
Dude, that was a great dismount right there for sure. And man, your boy, dude, Adoree Jackson, he used to be here, obviously, in Tennessee for New York. I like Adoree, man. Adoree, he's a hell of a player, dude, for sure. All right, everybody, grab your paper, grab your pencil. Let's take a little recap here. And it is glorious. My McClure is on Cal State, Florida, and UC Davis over 136. Micah, a teaser, 49ers -2.5, and Jaguars +9.5, priced at -140. Bobby Locks just broke down. He's on Clemson money line. The speculator, DK Metcalf, over 4.5 receptions, -130. Austin Eckler, over 4.5 receptions, -140. Eric Cohen is on the Seahawks 49ers over 42. North Texas FAU over 122. UTEP Rice over 138.5. I am on the 49ers first half team total over 13.5. 49ers second half team total over 12.5. Josh Allen longest completion over 36.5 yards. And this is for all weekend here. Greg Joseph, Vikings kicker, over 1.5 field goals. Vikings second half team total over 12.5. Tom Brady over half an interception at -130. And the Cowboys team total over 23.5. But you know what? Dude, we're not going to leave you hanging. So let me hit you with everything that we have for the NFL this week. And McClure also on the Chargers money line -120, money line parlay. Bills, Bengals, 49ers -102. The Maestro, Travis Etienne, over 75.5 rushing yards. Buccaneers +3. Christian McCaffrey over 73.5 rushing yards. Tom Brady over 273 pass yards, 273.5 passing yards. Evan McPherson over 1.5 field goals. RJ White, 49ers -9.5. You just heard mine there. Prop stars, TJ Hawkinson over 4.5 receptions. Rashad White under 37.5 rushing yards. Dawson Knox over 32.5 receiving yards. Austin Eckler under 51.5 rushing yards. Sia Najad, Keenan Allen over 6.5 receptions. Trevor Lawrence over 13.5 rushing yards. Joe Mixon under 14.5 rushing attempts. Richie James over 4.5 receptions. Micah Roberts, as the teaser he just broke down. Dave Richard, Josh Allen under 33.5 pass attempts. Graham Gano over 1.5 field goals. Kenneth Walker under 16.5 rushing attempts. Joe Mixon over 3.5 receptions. Josh Palmer over 4.5 receptions. EC just broke down the Seahawks 49ers over 42. The speculator, you heard him there. Woo! That was a lot of reading right there. Nobody ever wants to hear me speak that much again. I assure you on that. All right, everybody, we will be live tonight, Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern to break down Chargers at the Jaguars. Sunday, our schedule will be normal, except we won't have the midday show. We'll have the morning show, 10 a.m. Eastern, and then same thing, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, breaking down the Sunday night game. But until then, everybody, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We'll see you later tonight.